The Todd Shapiro Show. Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.
Boys, come on in, hang out. Come on, hang out with Kevin Hobbs. What a beauty, Kevin Hobbs from Vanbex. Hey, Kev.
What's up, buddy?
Dude, man, we're here. I'm first, before we, get into our nice little blockchain chat and everything going on with Vanbex, I just want to thank you as a friend. You gave us Leaf tickets tonight, and I'm bringing three of my closest friends who are all co-hosting the show today. We got Peter Anthony, Kyle Radke, and Boomer Phillips here. So, we're all going to the Leaf game in the Vanbex box. Thanks, dude.
It's going to be awesome.
Thank
you so much, Kev. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys. Hey, I'm glad we can get some good use out of it, right?
Yeah, you think, because, dude, how awesome is it having Kevin is he's one of my clients, but he's in Vancouver. He's got like seats for everything. DC seats, the best.
Oh, that's perfect.
You're not even here. Oh my God, how's everything going?
Oh my God, things are going crazy. I mean, Vanbex, some of the things we're doing right now, guys, just blowing up. Like the technology that we're building right now is starting to get recognized by like big banks, corporations, globally. The things we're building for blockchain, I know it's been like a down market, but now things are really starting to see the value in some of the engines that we've built. It's great. This new project that we got, this company, Mogul Studios, and I can't tell you, we're building something that's never been done before in the film and industry, movie industry. It's a continuous organization, and we're building in a decentralized, automated trust engine. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, it sounds so exciting, Mogo, and you've chatted with us about it before in terms of being able to raise funds to get a movie produced from, and then having it on the blockchain, so you know exactly where your funds go to, and when the funds get released, so you know that you're actually contributing to this film, not just giving money, and you don't know what the budget is. Now you're seeing exactly where the money's being spent. It's unbelievable. But you said something interesting. Is sort of like modern day technology, which most of the layman's like me understand, finally starting to understand and merge with blockchain? Like, is that now starting? Is that what we're starting to see happen?
Yeah, it's something. In some industries, we really are. They're opening up their eyes and going, we can really use this for our traditional functions, whether it be, traditional stocks, bonds, loans, and we can put them in an environment, a blockchain-based environment that can give you trust, transparency, save on fees, auditability. It's crazy what they're realizing it can do. And now, the big banks, the larger institutions, I don't want to name names, but they're saying, hey, can you guys come in and help us kind of build out our systems using blockchain technology? And we're like, yeah, of course we can.
So, I mean, that's like really, I think, encouraging for people to hear who've sort of known about the space but not sure where it's going. And again, you're always about, don't confuse cryptocurrency with the blockchain technology, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. Like cryptocurrency is a byproduct of blockchain. It's a very small element that the blockchain offers. Really cool. It brought a lot of money into the space, and that's kind of where the attention's going to, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff. But like the engine that runs these cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, that's where the magic happens. That's what's really interesting. And you use these tokens as just like a vehicle of information. And there's so many forms of information that you can put on the blockchain to transfer, share, store, audit. So it's really going to change everything we do online, and we're not even going to know it.
Peter, get in there.
Okay, I just wanted to say, not to veer away from the business aspect, but personally, I believe you have East Coast roots. Am I correct?
I do. Born in Newfoundland, lived in Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Well, I'm from the small town of Pictou in Nova Scotia, born and raised. And I just wanted to know how a fella goes from the main streets of Nova Scotia and gets into the blockchain business.
That's a great question, because Peter is not successful at anything he's ever done. So that's part of the reason why he's asking.
Well, I mean, it's tough. The main streets of Nova Scotia, you have to brawl your way kind of through things, but I just kind of moved through. Blockchain just kind of fell in my lap, and it was just like a fit for the skills and talents that I had, and I just saw it, and I was like, holy crap, this is gonna change the world. Like, I need to be a part of this. I'm old enough to have seen the internet revolution, but I didn't capitalize on it like I wish I would. And then this came along, and I was like, this is my chance.
Right. So it's almost like Internet 2.0 in a weird way.
It is Internet 2.0, exactly. I mean, the Internet gave us a new way to communicate and share data globally, and it let us be born in a global environment instead of a jurisdictional one. And then what we have on the Internet right now is a real problem with how we share data. There's a lot of middlemen. There's a lot of kind of black cloaking going on. There's a lot of hacking. And the blockchain allows us to do everything that we do on the Internet just in a real secure and safe environment. So instead of having to trust the person you're doing business with online, which, how that can go, you can just trust the technology that you're using and know that it's safe.
Do you see it? Sorry, Todd.
No, I love this, dude. It's a real chat, man. Please.
But do you see blockchain being used to legitimize things like photos, videos, news, just to differentiate from anything that could be fake? Even things like you see technology now for replicating voice and video, and I think blockchain could be a way to verify everything. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's just a great use case for it. So something as simple as, well, I shouldn't say as simple, but something like verifying identity can be used with what we call a non-fungible token, which you can assign a digital identifier to it, and that is the only one. It can't be hacked. It can't be faked.
It's like a fingerprint.
Yeah, like a digital fingerprint.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Real quick, we got a caller. These can go either way. We never know because we don't screen our calls. But, hey, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Alex in Washington, D.C. How are you?
Good, man. You got a question for Kevin Hobbs from Vanbex?
Yeah, I listen to you guys every day. Okay, I understand a lot of technology, like how the Internet was built and business, the cryptocurrency, but I don't really understand the blockchain.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can make it simple. So the blockchain is basically just a digital ledger of information that is secured by really fancy math called cryptography, SHA-256. So think about putting a whole bunch of papers together, Google documents together, that were secured in a way that you couldn't change any of the writing on it and you couldn't separate them. They're all together for life. And then what the blockchain does to kind of secure this is it shares a copy of that information through many, many different computers and nodes. So there's a bunch of copies. So if you destroy one of those copies or take down one of those computers or those nodes, you still have a whole bunch of other copies of that same information out there within the blockchain.
Does that help you, dude?
Oh, yeah, that helped a lot. I understand much better now. Thank you.
All right, man. I appreciate the support of the program, dude. Yeah, what do you...
All right, you all have a good one. Thank you.
For sure, man. All right, all the way from Washington. Love. Peter, what do you... What?
Well, no, I just... It feels like it was a plant caller.
It wasn't a plant.
Like we planted him to...
I didn't
so
fucking
Kevin
plant the
could
call.
explain blockchain.
I didn't fucking plant the call.
Really?
How would I plant the fucking call?
I like how when he called, you're like, even we don't know who calls. We never screen our calls.
Like you give this guy one beer, and he's chirping me. The picto comes out of him. This
all of a sudden, it's the perfect caller to explain blockchain.
Well, it was. I did not plant. That guy should call back. I did not plant that call.
You know what we need?
On my son's life, motherfucker, on the blockchain, I put it.
You know what we need to verify that wasn't a setup caller?
Put on the blockchain.
We need blockchain technology.
You're
That's
such
right.
a...
Verify the calls. You know what, guys? You know what's a good use case that I'm having a problem with right now is construction and real estate. That we need to create a blockchain-based product that can hold contractors and anybody that you deal with to kind of build your home or buy your furniture from to the contracts that you sign. They can't keep billing you for things that just
have you been following my tweets by any chance? That's so weird you mentioned this. Has anyone seen my tweets over the last couple of days?
Is this about the Home Depot one?
Yeah. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
About the cottage?
No, it's a Home Depot. Listen, and I never listen. There was a time, and about 7 years ago, I complained about. I ordered patio furniture from this guy Andrew Richards, piece of shit. And then anyway, so no, he was. I paid all this money for fucking patio furniture, and the shit rotted to hell. I would never recommend anyone buying anything from them ever again. And anyway, so I tweeted about it, but I got a lot of reaction from it, and I said, you know what, I'm never going to do this again because I thought it was sort of a cheesy approach. And I also kind of respect he's a smaller business. So anyway, I ordered these skylights for Home Depot. We're building a cottage. Yes, we're very fortunate we're building a cottage. We're also going to Airbnb it and use it as a business and run a business out of it and hopefully make money from it. So it's not like I'm just making it rain, rolling money and owning a cottage, people. But long story short, These skylights are nowhere to be found. Like, they're not at the store I asked them to go to. They're saying I claim to have it shipped to my house, but they're not at my house. And then there's money now for these skylights on my Visa that I want wiped off my Visa because I want to use the money just to order from another supplier where I know I'm going to get them delivered to the place they send me.
Visa will rectify that.
They won't because it's not in writing. But I agree with, dude, everything you're saying, Hobbsy, it's like, that's exactly what I want. It's why should I have to pay the money first until those skylights are delivered? Like, imagine if Home Depot said, you place an order, the second is that X place where they're supposed to be, then the money gets taken from you. But now my limit's maxed out on my Visa card. They're not giving me a refund. The skylights are nowhere to be fucking found after talking to 10 people. And yet, and DMing and direct messaging and all this kind of stuff.
You have a paper trail. You're fine.
No, but the problem is it's now delaying my construction because it's taken 11 days when it was only supposed to take 3. And now the guys can't go on and do the roof because they got to do the proper roof for it with the skylight on first, and it's delaying the whole project. It's making me crazy.
Back at them? When I rent out my place with Home Depot, what you do is don't buy tools. You buy the tools, but when you're done with the tool, Home Depot has a fucking excellent return policy. You return the tools. I used probably at least $4,000 worth of tools from Home Depot, and I suggest everybody do this. Return the fucking tools as soon as you're done with them, and they'll give you your money back.
Okay. And I'll tell you what else you can do. Boomer would probably do is go shit in one of their display toilets.
A few years back, maybe.
No, you could lose your job.
I'm a 41-year-old professional.
Yeah, firefighter.
I can't do
anyway,
that.
sorry, Kev. But I agree.
I suggested it.
The construction is a great angle for the blockchain. Dude, one of the things we talked about, do you think there will ever be something, I forget if I bring up like the same shit all the time. I'm sorry, Kev. But do you guys, and we just had a dating coach in here, so that's why it's top of mind. I feel like there should be a consent app on the blockchain. I'm not trying to make light of it. Like a consent app that, like, you give consent. It's now on a ledger. It's because there's moments where there's like this he said, she said stuff, and it's created a lot of issues. And obviously, there's some terrible people out there in this world that have exploited and abused of power and done some terrible things. Bill Cosby, But then there's like, I think in a dating life, that would be a real. You might take away the passion, but you couldn't argue it at that point.
You videotape it. I've had that scenario too with that.
Videotape is where
no, you don't videotape the sex. You just videotape like after the sex is done. You're like, hey, you having a good? Because I had a sex with that.
Smart.
Remember that playmate who punched me?
Yes.
Tried to punch me.
Well,
okay. Well, I was like, this girl's going off. She's nuts, and I could see her doing something like that, like accusing me of something. So I was like, as soon as we were done, I videotaped. Like, we just had sex. Wasn't that fun? Didn't we have such a good time? She's like, yeah, that was a real good time. And then right after I got to turn the video, she started swinging again. Fuck it. Who cares?
If that's on the blockchain, though, you're like, hey,
exactly.
Well, I don't know. But I mean, actually, more little. Sorry, Kev. I don't want to get too deep here. But I mean, this helps guys and girls.
We actually explored that with a group out of a university down in the States before. But the problem with putting it on the blockchain, it's a great use case. The problem is you can give consent, but you can take it away. So so you'd have to have a mechanism where someone could give it, but then take it away instantly because you could give it. And then all of a sudden, change your mind, right? Like you get halfway in, and then the girl goes, I'm not really into this anymore.
Or you're dealing with guys that'll be like, give me that phone, you consent.
Oh, geez.
You know what I mean? That's a whole. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
You're right. Yeah, you could muscle the consent.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible to think. That's gross.
That was like just the tip, where I'm like, if I just put the tip in.
No, okay, let's not go there. Boomer, let's not go there. Okay, sorry, Kev. I hang out with awesome dudes.
We're gonna.
It counts. It counts.
Okay, stop. Kevin's on the phone. Kevin, dude. Hey, is there a blockchain smartphone? Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah, I've seen it. I never saw anything about it. I read about it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because the blockchain can't hold a lot of data, and you use a lot of data on your phone. And the other thing is you have to be connected to cell towers, so they're going to have a contract with a cellular provider. But just and then also every phone would have to act as its own node, which means you have to download at least a light client of the blockchain to be able to use it. So a lot of it didn't really make sense to me, and I haven't seen too much about it since there. Just understanding the technology that belies it, right?
So it's not really going anywhere then. A blockchain smartphone.
I can't see it right now, but I just want to talk. I'm a little bit frustrated here. I just want to mention about this. So I can sympathize about your Home Depot stuff because I've been renovating a condo since last December. These guys have done nothing short of lie every time something happens. They push their completion date back 6 months. They've tripled their original budget. Every time I talk to them, they say this is the last bill. Then they come up with a new bill and say, if you don't pay it, we're going to stop like construction. Pretty much putting you between a rock and a hard place over and over and over again. Like just the most dishonest people. And I just got off the phone with them just before I got on this call, so I'm just livid about it. Right
Is this Home Depot you're dealing with?
No, it's just his own contractors. But I mean, you're right. You know,
Contractors are
and they're worse. You're right. You're absolutely right, man. And everyone has had this experience. That's why it doesn't matter if you're building an absolute mansion or just renovating a 600 square foot apartment. You're right. They're halfway done the tiles. Oh, we need X money, or we won't finish the tiles in the bathroom. And that's always been a known trick for contractors. Yet they're the only ones who can do the job if you don't know how to do the job. So then what?
Man.
You're right. Get them on the blockchain. Let's do a construction blockchain, bro.
Because I feel lucky to have my dad who's his saying, his catchphrase is put it in writing. Put it in writing. Fine, put it in writing.
The thing is, we have this in writing. I have all the bills, all the contracts. I mean, we have it in writing. It still doesn't work. And I'm like, guys, you gave me your last invoice. You said this was the last one. You gave me the budget. You said this is how high it's going. Now you're asking me for another $300,000 and you're not going to complete work. Like, if you guys are in Vancouver, never deal with living space. Doesn't work. Never deal with living space or living space homes ever.
Good to know, man. This is good. And Kev's a downright honest guy. You're right. That's gross. And I wonder. Listen, Kev's done well. Okay, that's the facts. You can tell by the renovations. But and sometimes I wonder if people try to
$300,000.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, right?
And
but I often wonder if people try to exploit that based on people they know who have a little bit of money too and don't. And that's really gross because it's still you still got to be super true to the contract you put in front of people.
There's something to that. That's why Star Wars, when they did Empire Strikes Back, they called the film Blue Harvest. Because they started going to people going, oh, it's Empire Strikes Back. And they're like, oh, well, this $1 worth of cotton is going to cost you $4 instead of $1.
No, for the sets and stuff.
Yeah, for everything, because they knew it was Star Wars. So then they changed the title to Blue Harvest.
Wow.
And then everything was at cost.
Municipalities should do that, because anything a city buys from something, they just up the price. Oh, it's going to a city? Fucking boom.
Yeah, or just get it on the blockchain, then we all
probably
win.
came to your place. It looked awesome. They're like, we're going to reno it, and it's going to cost you 3 times as much as it would someone else. Can the blockchain help that? Can it keep people honest from price gouging?
Well, yeah, you can set a smart contract where the money goes into escrow, and as long as they complete, they get the money on completion. But people can't kind of up the price. I mean, you can put people into a marketplace where you have people just bidding on it. You know, and the power of the crowd, that's really big now, which is big with Mogul. I mean, you get the public involved, and you'll see that people aren't going to want to price gouge because then their reputation is ruined.
That's right. The only problem is we've lost half our listenership because they're mostly blue-collar guys. No. They're like, we don't want this. We're going to price gouge everybody.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, we'll pick the right blockchain company. You won't be a blue-collar guy in the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Kevin Hobbs from Vanbex, and I just want to remind people, too, they have an amazing blog where you can learn a lot about everything going on with the Vanbex group and help sort of, if you don't mind me saying, sort of dumb it down in layman's terms, really understand what the whole world is about. And just go to vanbex.com/blog and you can find out, whether, if the blockchain is already exchanging real estate. It's a recent post. And everything going on with Vanbex, great stuff. They have a lot of fun. They just had a big Halloween party. And the other thing I want to encourage listeners to do, and like that guy from Washington, that was not a plant. If you have any questions, feel free to tweet it out or call. And we'd love to, help you out here in this emerging. One of the things we really are grateful for is that we get to talk about the emerging spaces. And sometimes I feel like we're almost too ahead of it. We're far ahead of the curve here, Yet people in a couple of years are going to be like, oh, I wish I listened to Kevin from Vanbex more because now blockchain's on every single thing I do. So not only will help you learn about it, but maybe even help you monetize it somehow. So, Kev, man, I really appreciate your time, dude.
Hey, man, I love being on the show, guys. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you, Kev.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, by the way, if MLSE hasn't engraved your company name yet in that beautiful box that you have, can we just do it with like a knife?
I'll do it.
I'm gonna say no to that one. Let's yeah.
Okay.
So no, thanks, guys, and yeah, any of the listeners out there, anybody want to know more, go to mogulstudios.com, guys. This is such an amazing product. Contact me at vanbex.com anytime. We're here to help the community and the industry, guys. Appreciate it.
Love you, brother. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, man. Kevin Hobbs. What a dude.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Successful Nova Scotian businessman.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that.
It's quite amazing.
The Todd Shapiro Show.
You are the greatest hero in American history.
SiriusXM Canada Laughs, Channel 168.